4:30 in the morning, freaking crazy. I'm watching McLeod, or I just watched Donnie Brasco again, but I was teaching till about midnight, and I had this video that I did. I worked with an analyst class, a couple of them, and they asked me to do a high level review of options on a chart. So we did that the night before they took the test, and they said it was all super helpful. They see all the option stuff they need, not the matrix. We have the matrix, it's something different. So we're going to give it a shot. Stay to the end and take a screenshot, and maybe that you can print out and put on your wall. I did different colors, like I did green for bullish, red for bearish, and then other colors for just fun. Okay. Woo. Okay. So let's get into it. Let's see how we do. I'm going to turn the screen off so you don't miss anything. My video off. Hopefully that helps. Gets my ass out of there. Boom. There we go. That should make it a little bit more better. Good English. Okay. So here's the deal on this. So we're going to start with the first thing we're going to look at, right? Buy a call, right? See if we can get, I think you shouldn't have anything in front of you, I think. But so if you buy a call, right, it's buy one XYZ 50 call. That's a long call. You're bullish. It's for speculative, and the break even is strike plus premium. Pretty good. Remember, green is bullish, red is bearish. So then we go to the next one down. Buy a put.
Yes,
it's a long put. That buy, own, hold, long all mean the same thing. It's bearish. And look, it's still speculative. You thought I was off kilter. And then it's strike minus premium. Okay. So buy an XYZ 50 put is a long put. It's bearish, strike minus. Buy a 50 call. It's a long call. It's bullish. It's speculative, and strike plus premium. Go to the next one. Sell a call. Ooh, naked. Oh, we wonder where that's going to go. So selling a 50 call is like shorting or writing a call. It's bearish, and you do it straight plus premium. And then we go to the next one. And remember, red is bearish, so it's bearish. Oh, naked, uncovered. That's what it means when you sell an option by itself. It's naked or uncovered. So we're going to sell an XYZ 50 put. It's short, write a put. It's bullish. You're doing it for income, and you do strike minus premium. So let's go over this again. So these these are for speculation. It's white, so you're not going to see it. So I'm not going to even bother anymore. These are for speculative when you're buying options, and these are for income. Whenever you sell an option, it's for income. That's the only reason. So let's jump down a little bit farther. Let's go to the hedging. Okay. If you're long stock and long a put, that's a protective. Or if it's done on the same day, it's a marry put. You're still bullish because the stock rules. And HIP, in my world, HIP means hedge, insure, protect. So if you buy stock and then you buy an option, buy a put, you're doing it for HIP. HIP, hedge, insure, protect. So I always say buyers are HIP. And since it's buy and buy, it's going to be stock plus premium for the break even. Super easy. Next hedge, long stock, shorter call. That's a covered call. Why you do? It's bullish because you own the stock. Maybe even neutral if you sell it at this. The strike is the same place you bought stock, whatever. You're doing it for income. The only reason you ever sell options is for income. And this is a covered call. Okay. How do you do break even? It's going to be the stock minus the premium. Remember, I put stock in big letters to remind you it's not the strike price, it's the stock. And always remember, stock is cool, stock is it, stock is everything. Okay. Stock is king, stock is everything. Now, those are two of the hedging ones. But remember, I do a covered call for income. Next, short stock, long call. That's a protective call. Now, since I'm short stock, I'm bearish. See, it's red. Okay. And I'm doing it for HIP, a hedge insurance protection. Again, HIP, hedge insurance protection. Buyers are HIP. So when you buy an option with a stock position, you're doing it for HIP. Buyers are HIP. Hey, HIP, who cool. It's for hedge insurance and protection. And again, since it's a buy and a sell, it's stock minus premium. Super duper easy for break even. And these will answer a bunch of questions on the exam. So if you're short stock, short a put, to sell and a sell, well, since you're selling an option, it's a covered put. So let's see this for a second. So if you sell an option by itself, it's naked or uncovered, like it's blowing in the wind, right? It's uncovered, it's naked. But if you have a stock position, so if you sell a call and you own stock, that's a covered call. If you're short a put and you're short stock, that's a covered put. I like that. I think we're on the same page. So if I short stock, short a put, it's a covered put. It's bearish, maybe even neutral if I sell it at the strike, the same place I shorted it, and I did it for income, and it's stock plus premium. Why? Because it's a buy and a buy. So remember, the same you add, different you subtract for break evens. Okay, that's hedging. Let's move on down. Now we're going to the straddle world. I'll do both at the same time. I know, screw it. We'll do both. Okay. Now, long call, long put, that's a long straddle. Okay, long call, long put, that's a long straddle. Because how do you know it's long? Because there's with the long. So if they say the word buy, own, hold, long, and you see two of them, It's a long straddle. And what do? You do it for volatility. See, there's no color here because it's not really bullish or bearish. You're looking for volatility as 2 break-even points. I could probably even write that in there. Now, look what I did here. When you see 2 options, you have to do something. I can't circle, right? Let me do it in here. So if you see 2 options, right here, 2 options, you have to do something with the premiums. Since it's a buy and a buy, you're going to add the premiums. And then you do the call plus the total premiums. And then you do the put minus the total premiums. So if it's 4 and 2, you add them up. That's 6. It's going to be the strike plus 4 and the put strike minus 4. So this is so these are the straddles. A long call, long put. It's a long straddle. We want volatility. There's 2 break evens, one up, one down. And then on a short, then we have a short straddle, which again is a short call, short of put. So remember something. We name things for what they are. So a straddle is either long or short. And why is that? Well, because it's either long and you bought both, or you're short because you sold both. Pretty straightforward. Moving on in. We're going to keep moving. Spreads. Okay, here we go. So it's a long call, short call. Now, I put the heart near the dominant one, right? So the dominant one is the one that drives the spread. So that's why I have the heart next to it. So in this case, long call, short call. If the dominant call, if the buy call is a dominant, then these things follow. But let's get into this for a second. How do I know if a call is dominant? Well, the lower strike call is always a dominant. Okay, so if you have a 35 and a 40 call, the 35 is always dominant on the calls and the longer month. So if it's a longer month, it's always dominant. And on the put side, it's always the higher put or the longer month. So it's always the longer month, the farther away. So it's August right now. It's still almost September. My anniversary is in 2 days. I still haven't bought anything, honey. Hopefully she doesn't watch this. It's right now. Would I rather have an option that lasts until October or December? I'd much rather December. So that's why it's more expensive. It's the dominant. So that's the 2 ways. So I'm just showing you not how to find the dominant, but if you get the dominant, by the way, if they give you the premium, don't fight it. The bigger premium is always the dominant, always. The lower call or the higher put or the longer month. Those are the rules. Unless they give you premium, and then it's whatever they say it is. Now, if this is a long call spread, so it's called a debit spread. If you see the word long, own, hold, the dominant tells you since the dominant is a buy means debit. So this is a debit spread. And since the buy call is a dominant, it's bullish. Since it's a debit, you want it to widen exercise. Remember, dead wives can't nag. Okay. So debit, widen exercise. And when you do the break even, you subtract the 2 premiums from each other. And then you add it to the lower strike price. That's what it is. Again, when it's a call spread, you add to the lower every time. Okay. And it's green because it's bullish. Let's go to the next one. Long call, short call. Well, it sounds familiar. But the dominant is the short call. So the short call is either the lower strike or the longer month. Since the short call is the dominant, that's a sell. Short means sell. Sell means credit. So this is a credit spread. And we're bearish. And we want it to narrow. We want it to expire. That means remember, when I say widen or narrow, we want the premiums to either get farther apart or closer together. So that's what narrow or widen means. And expire means I would love it if both options expired. Because remember, I have money in my pocket. So I want it to stay that. I want the money to stay. So if it expires, I keep the money. And again, you subtract the premiums because it's a buy and a sell, and you still add to the lower strike. So in a call spread, you still add to the lower. Pretty straightforward. I try to look at these things like I teach the different way of methods. And look, and if you guys want to really have a really revolutionary way, okay, way to look at options, just a different way. I kind of created a method that's the kind of way I think of them. I'm kind of nuts. So I kind of think of them about break even and everything. And it's really intuitive and it really works. Okay. So that's why I'm just saying, since we're in here, might as well make a pitch for you can buy my options. You can rent my options videos for $20 a month. That's nothing. That's like what, 2 packs of cigarettes. Well, maybe 1 pack of cigarettes. It's one movie with no popcorn or drink, but one movie. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Oh, I surprised you. Long a put, short a put. Okay. So long a put, short a put, that's a put spread. Now look, the dominant is a long put. So that's a debit spread. That's a buy. Buy means debit. So long, buy, own, hold means debit. So long a put spread, since I'm long a put, buying means debit. And if I buy a put, buying a put is bearish. So is the spread. Since it's a debit, I want it to widen and exercise. Remember, dead wives can't nag. And then again, you subtract the premiums, the 2 premiums from each other, and then you subtract them the higher strike. Pretty straightforward. Now the last one. Long put, short put. I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but it's because the dominant is different. So in the long put, in the first one, in the red one, The long put is either the farther month or the higher strike. And on this one, the short put is the higher strike or the longer month. So and again, or the bigger premium, whatever the bigger premium is, remember you follow that. So this is a long put, short put. This is a credit spread. Since sell means credit, the short is a dominant, that means credit. If I sell a put, I'm bullish. You know that already. And if I have a credit, I want it to expire because I have the money in my pocket. So I want it to expire and I want the premiums to get closer together so I can buy it back cheaper. So understand that. I'm not going to go into the math on this, but if you have a debit spread, you spent the spread. If you want to sell it, you want the spread to widen. You can sell it for a bigger spread for more money. And if you sold a spread, you sold it for the difference between the two premiums, that spread. And then you're hoping it gets narrow and you can buy it back cheaper. Okay. So this is a little chart. Take a screenshot of this. I think it will help. This is not something that you would write on your hot sheet, but it's hard because it's too much. But it's a really good like reminder, like print it out, put it on your wall. My analyst students, they had me write this down. They were like, oh my God, it's just so great to have it all in one spot. This isn't end all be all, but it really does help with seeing everything in one piece of paper. Okay. Okay. Well, welcome back. Okay, enough of that shit. Welcome on. Happy Tuesday. I see a lot of good questions on here. We're going to get into it. Boom. Let's go, baby. Okay. Hannah, good stuff. I'm going to get through all the questions. Billy Ambrose, I saw most of your questions, but Auntie Becky, I have a video. You can find my video on this. Hold on. If you go to my options playlist, you can watch the whole thing all over again and watch the bottom. Hold on. I will do this for you. Hold on. Let me find this. Let's see if it works this way. Let's pray. Boom. Okay. Here is Auntie Becky. Here you go. Here's the whole video. You can watch the bottom. Boom. I love it. Awesome. Okay, here we go. Now, Billy Ambrose, I saw what you said. Hold on. Let me go back in. Oh, did I shut it out? No, I didn't. Oh, yeah. Let me get back into this. I saw you asked some questions already. So let me open that up because I can't see it on this, but I can see it here. Hold on. From the beginning. Okay, first of all, Astro Boy, welcome on options. Ray Simon, Christian Troy, Matthew Discount, Reese Yadig, A1525, welcome to the memberships. You will be so happy to join them. And Lily Gage, welcome to the options. Okay, now, hey, Ken, I can't put them up there. Hey, Ken, I take days on Friday, I've averaged around 70% on the brutals. I think you're in good shape. Okay, so if you are, guys, if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like, okay, and subscribe and share this. Make sure you can't comment if you're not subscribed. It's awesome. Okay. Hey, Ken, I'm reading it off here because it came in before I jumped on. I take the exam Friday. I have averaged 70% on the brutals. That's good. Okay. Yeah, you're a little burnt out. So that's why maybe you take another exam tomorrow, but none on Thursday. Okay. Yeah, they're going to ask you to find tax equivalent yield. They're absolutely going to do that. And tax after tax yield. That's super easy, right? Super easy. It's literally just take the yield and either multiply if it's a corporate or divide if it's a muni, okay? Multiply a corporate, divide a muni if they're asking for the other one, right? So if I'm in the 28% bracket and I have a 6% corporate, I'm going to multiply 6 times 100 minus 28. That's 0.72. Or I'm going to divide. If it's a muni, I divide. Multiply the corporate, divide the muni. Billy, just remember that. You might get 1 or 2 questions max. It won't be that big. Okay. Now, okay, industrial development bonds. Okay. These are, so AMT, real quick on this, because it's not on here, but it is. Billy asked it, and I want to get that. Come on. How many fucking alerts do I get all the time? I need a fucking intern. Hold on. But I want one that'll work for free and is part of my family, so I don't have to fucking pay him. Okay, now. And Jeff will be on soon. He's just enjoying a birthday dinner with his son. Okay. Now, AMT. AMT is what they do to rich people, right? So we know that rich people buy munis, poor people buy corporates. Remember that rich people buy munis, poor people buy corporates. So if they say to you, okay, so if you go, oh, what kind of bond should we buy? Unless they say rich, wealthy, looking for tax breaks, you don't go the muni route because it's a lower yield. So, but what they do is they go, okay, well, GO's fine, no problem. GO's fine, no problem. Public purpose bonds, no problem. But any kind of industrial development bond or revenue bond that is more for making money, like an industrial development bond, would be like building a stadium or a convention center, something like that, that really is for just making money, not then good of the country, good of the city. So those bonds might be subject to AMT. And all you have to remember is that someone who's subject to AMT might have to pay taxes, even though it's a muni. So if you make enough money and they go, oh, you make a lot of money and it's an AMT bond, you might have to pay taxes on some of that interest. That's what you have to know. So if someone is subject to AMT, do not put them in a bond that is subject to AMT. Don't put them in a taxable bond. Don't put them in an industrial development bond, all stuff like that. Do not do it. Okay. Let's keep going. Oh, come on. Did I lose it? There we go. Let's see how much I lost of it. Here we go. Billy Roo. Okay. Okay, so Billy, go find my Mathapalooza. Okay, find my Mathapalooza video. It's in there. If you type in Mathapalooza or go into the Series 7 math playlist, I just do math. If you can do those math problems, you're good to go. Remember, because the vendors go nuts on the math. Okay. Onward. Guns and coffee. Guns and... Okay. Guns... Here we go. It's another member. Okay. Jordan Land, welcome to the options. But you'll love it. I promise you the options will change your life. Everyone I know... I have one lady. I still remember I was talking to her. And guns, I'll get to you. I was helping her, and she said, you know what? She was good at the options, but everything else she was a little iffy on. So we said, you know what? You want to take it because she was nervous. Just kind of just take the test. And, you're going to fail. You're probably not going to pass. And she called me up. I still remember I was walking on 47th and Park. I still remember I was walking because I almost got hit by a car because of this. So she calls up. Okay, she's going to fetch you. And she's screaming, I passed. And what happened was she said, I know that over-exaggerating hyperbole, but she said she thinks the first 100 questions are options. She said, I think I got probably a 90% on the test because so many of our options, we use my method. It's insane. Literally, you will watch 1 hour of videos and be like, oh my God, I'm 80% there. Then you do my practice videos and you'll be like, I wish the entire test was options. Now remember, that's the math. I have a couple good suitability videos. I have an option suitability video where I just do option suitability questions because that's really the only way to do that. That's free. The paid ones are the ones you have to join to learn to. It's like manna from heaven, the option stuff I do. Okay. Now, okay. Yeah. Okay. So understand something. Guns and coffee, if you're still here. The options, the Series 7 final exam, the master exam, or the practice exam are really hard. Don't panic. It's not worth it. It's good. Remember, the 24, the Kaplan exams don't really look like the 24. So if you want to go to STC just to get new questions, fine. And I think STC questions are better. If you have time, if you have like more than a couple weeks, yeah, go see if you can just buy the questions. I think they do supplemental exams. I'm not sure they do them for the 24, but they might. If not, buy the cheapest program you can buy. Don't go crazy on the program, okay? That's your best bet, okay? Okay. Again, I wouldn't panic. You can stay with it, but I would say maybe go get the other thing you could do to test yourself. I have a link in my chat. I don't know where it is. It's a link in here. Let's see if I can find it. If you get this link, here we go. Let's see if this works. I think you can just, I didn't want to open it. I wanted to copy it. Hold on. All right, just do it that way. Okay. If you go here, you can buy any test you want. You can buy questions for these tests. Okay. You can buy, if you check the link I just put in, you can absolutely buy questions. Yes, I get a discount. I give you a little, I get $5 for that, but I don't really care. If not, go to STC. The reason I'm saying not to go to STC is I want you to go there, but it's expensive, right? If you want to spend a little bit of money just to buy questions, go to the link I just sent you. Those are hard questions, but you'll learn. Okay. Let's go, baby. Gearing up for the 7. By the way, Wealth Architects, you are next, baby. So stay on there, okay? Wealth Architects, absolutely stay on there. You are going to get your question answered, okay? If you're still here. If you're not here, I'm going to answer it anyway. Let's go, baby. Let's get this fucker done, okay? So I'm on you. I'm going to get your real question. Get for the 7. Make sure you focus on reading. Make sure you focus on learning as much as possible. So this is a great question, okay? When a convertible bond is converted into stock, is that stock a new issue from the corporate treasury? Is it a subsequent offering? It's not really an offering where you could almost say it comes to the treasury, but it doesn't. Think of it this way. Think of it's coming from Now, you all know when a company goes public, okay? When a company goes public, they're gonna authorize shares and then they're gonna issue shares, okay? So you're gonna authorize and then issue, okay? So authorized shares is like, 1 billion shares, and then we're gonna issue like 100 million or whatever it is. What's left over is stuff we can issue out. So yes, when a convertible bond is exercised or converted, you are going to get shares from the authorized. It's not an offering. You don't get a prospectus. It's not, because you're not paying for it for free. So you're just converting it. So by the way, it's not, I guess it's an offering, but it's not really. You're just getting the shares because they're not making an offer. They're just giving them to you. Okay. Kind of like when you buy a warrant or a right, same thing. Well, right is different, but a warrant, you're getting just new shares, but you don't get a prospectus because you're not paying anything. Okay. The other thing is no prospectus. And by the way, remember that whenever somebody converts a right, a warrant, or a convertible, you're diluting the shares because there's now more shares outstanding. Okay. Again, convertible, warrants, and rights, when they exercise them, you're getting more shares. So it's going to dilute the shares, which is going to lower the earnings per share. Good. Okay. Billy, yes, I can explain them. Do you want me to? Okay. Okay. So here, let's go over this for a second. So now, it's a weird number. Okay. So when a city or town needs money quickly, they can't issue it. They're not going to issue like a 30-year bond. They're going to issue a shorter bond. And by the way, that link is for any exam. You can get questions. Also, guys, if you want to do practice questions, you just want to do them out, go to my website, series7exam.org. You can do practice questions on there free. I don't even have to put your email. You might have to put your email. I don't remember. But you just do it, and there's going to be 25 questions at a time, and it's about 900 questions in the QBank. They're free. They're geared to feel like the exam. They're hard. Couple mistakes in there, but for the most part, really solid. Okay, now, again, Muni notes are for short-term needs. So they're short-term things. So let's say in New York, do we know how much it costs to pick up snow in the city? New York City, it's 2.1 or 2.2 an inch. So let's say we have, like this winter, we had 2 20-inch snowstorms, okay? That's 40 inches. That's $80 million, okay? So $80 million is coming that we have to spend. We not have it. But they go, oh, you know what? In April, people pay their taxes. So we're going to issue a muni note now for $80 million saying, okay, when people pay their taxes in April, that's going to pay it off. That's a TAN, tax anticipation note. Or they go, oh, we can pick up snow. It's going to cost money. We're going to use a revenue from the subways, the tolls, the trains, the bridges, tunnel, all that crap. So that's revenue. So that'd be a revenue anticipation note. So we have TANs, RANs, and TRANs. I used to joke around. It's called the Caitlin, but you can't call it that anymore. So TANs are tax anticipation. It's going to be issued with a future tax revenue coming in. RAN is future revenue coming in, like revenues from like tolls, fees, rents. It's not a revenue bond. It's just based on revenues. And then a TRAN is a little bit of both. Now, remember, those three things are the only things you can use for budget shortfalls. Remember that TANs, RANs, and TRANs are the only ones you can use for fiscal period to pay bills for shortfalls. All the other ANs are for, what are they for? They are for other things, like projects. So let's get into it. So now, a ban, let's say we get the vote issue, we get the vote approved for the muni bond, because GEOs need approval, even a revenue they can do this for. Say we get it approved in April, and we want to start building a high school or improving the high school. Okay, we want to improve the high school. What happens is we're going to do that, and it's going to take like 5-6 months to get the bond issued. We want to start building now. When the kiddies walk out in June, I know East Coast, it's end of June. It's down south, it's earlier. But end of June, the kids are going out. We want those tractors rolling in. As the kids are going out the front door, the tractors are rolling in the back. So we're going to issue a ban now to get started with the building. Okay, get started with the building. Then we're going to go, then when the bond is actually issued, it's going to pay off the ban. That's the way they go, okay? Now, there's a GAN. We always use 9/11. So in 9/11, the shit happened. The government said we're going to give you $26 billion, but it's not coming till March, but we needed it in September. So we issued GANs now, grant anticipation note. We're going to get a grant from the government in the future, and boom. So what happens is we issue it now, and then in March, when we get the money from the government, it pays off the GAN. Now, there's one more That's very visual. So when they say we're going to put up a building, it takes 2 or 3 years to get it up and running. There's no rent coming in, so we can't really issue a revenue bond with no money coming in. So we issue construction. It's technically a construction loan anticipation, right? So what happens is you issue it now each year. Like as we need the money, we issue the bonds, and they're all going to mature right around the time the building is done and there's renters. So it's going to be a construction loan. Now the problem, they call it a CLN because that's a tough word. You can be very tough selling that kind of bond, okay? So instead of calling it a clan note, okay, they call it a CLN. Okay, I think we're back. Holy crap. Can you guys hear me now? I don't know what the hell just happened. I just got logged off. It was crazy. Okay, I don't know what the hell just happened. Can you hear me?
That's so weird. I'm on, yeah.
Like you logged on and kicked my ass off. And you should be able to see me now. Can you guys see me now? Yeah.
All right.
I think we're back.
All right.
Okay. Holy fuck.
Oh, shit.
Maybe it didn't. Maybe it blocked me because I said the CLAN word. I wonder if that's what happened.
What did you do?
I talked about construction loan notes.
Okay.
And they used
really?
But they would have kicked me off.
No way.
No, I think it just hit when you call. Okay, we're back. Okay. We're back. Okay, go.
I told you, I was racing. I hit every red light. This was brutal.
You didn't need to do that. That's awesome. Okay. How was the birthday?
I think it's still going on. I bolted out and
Melania, that's funny. Okay. So you bolt. It was good though, right? You got some good cake and stuff.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get back. So again, my construction loan note, you have to call it a CLN because you can't call it a other word. Okay, good. Okay. Now I'm not worried about that.
Where's the ticker?
Fuck. No, okay, we're good. Okay.
Where's the ticker on the bottom?
I know. I got to put it back in. I think I turned it off. Is there even a spot for it?
It's so weird.
Oh, no. There it is. It was there. Yeah.
Oh.
You can plug it in.
Oh, now I can play. Okay. Oh, great.
Yeah. Okay. We're back.
Okay.
Everyone's like, shut up and just talk about my stuff. Okay.
Right.
So you can change it if you want. Okay. Hey, I love it. Stuck in the matrix. I know. But listen, they talk about the most prestigious firm, and it is Goldman. Goldman's the most prestigious firm out there. They did the rankings, right? Whatever. Okay. Guys, also, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a great Instagram post other than my Series 7 Whisperer and Series 7 Whisperer on TikTok, Instagram, and here. If you go check out Wall Street Skinny, I think it's called Wall Street Skinny. They're amazing. Okay. By the way, this account gone. I'm glad I bought the fucking hat. They shut down. JP Morgan probably shut them down. Go check out Wall Street Skinny. The two women who worked at Morgan Stanley, they're outstanding. Also, if you're looking to get into more IB, which probably not are, go look up Wall Street Mastermind. It's on YouTube and Instagram. They're good. Okay. Yeah, getting stuck in Goldman is it's a really tough spot to be in. Okay. Okay, now remember this. Okay, here we go. If you pull money out of a variable annuity, so the money goes in. I think I need a new chair. Okay. So if you put, like, I'll write it down. Say you put $20K into an annuity. So my daughter is going wedding shopping this week, right? She went Monday, she went Wednesday. So yesterday, my wife comes home and says, we bought a dress. I'm like, what do you mean you bought a dress? Lots of money. Like most my daughter wouldn't walk into the room with me. Okay, so now, because it was way too. She says, oh, how much is the deposit? No, we had to pay the whole thing. Now, so it wasn't that expensive, but that's not far off. Okay, so if you put in 20 grand into a qualified annuity, that's pre-tax. I'm going to do both. If you put 20 grand into a qualified annuity, that's pre-tax. It grows tax deferred, and then you take the money out, you pay tax on everything. So it doesn't matter LIFO or FIFO. However, if you put money into a non-qualified annuity, okay, and everything's ordinary income. Everything retirement account is ordinary income. So if you put 20 grand into a non-qualified, you pay tax on that. That's called post-tax. If it grows to 100 grand and you withdraw it, that 80 grand is taxable. And if you take it in lumps, if you do a lump sum, you just pay tax on the 80. If you take it out a little at a time, it goes LIFO because they want the taxable shit first, and then the stuff you're going to pay tax on last. So income first, and then cost basis or capital, whatever, invested capital first. Okay, return of capital. Now, when you get paid out, same idea. If it's a qualified annuity, if you do like an annuity and get it paid for life, right? If you get paid out forever, like if you're doing a variable annuity and it's qualified, every penny of that's taxable. Just it is what it is. If you do a non-qualified annuity, they'll be like, oh, if you have a $5,000 a year payment, $1,000 will be tax-free because it's return on capital. The other, what do you call it? The other rest of it will be taxable at ordinary income. So if you have a non-qualified annuity, it's always partial taxable, partially not. Okay. Qualified it is, and as your answer, I did answer your question. But if you take the money out of a non-qualified annuity, it's LIFO. Always, you don't get to choose. Okay. Matt Walden, here's one thing I'm going to say. Your scores are great. This is FINRA night, Matt. I know you probably waited 20 minutes, but Thursday night is FINRA. Okay. Thursday night is FINRA tonight. But your score, if you're still here, your scores are fucking solid. Okay. So again, Thursday night is NASA, which is tonight is FINRA, SIE 724, and 6, 79 if you really want, or 57. Thursday night is NASA only. That's nothing, though. You won't be have to listen to shit like this all the time, like stuff you won't need. So come back on Thursday, but your scores are solid. And by the way, if you're here, so go do my brutal exams. Okay. Oh, I don't even know if you still live. There's only Ashante Green. Okay, now. I don't know if you're still here, but we're going to still sing for you anyway. I'm going to sing for you. Ready? Here we go.
Get physical. I wanna get physical. Let's get into physical. Let me hear your body talk.
Boom, baby. Okay. Now, that's awesome. Oh, so you start your job. You have 25 days. You start August. That's awesome. Start reading now. If you Ashante Green, if you're still here, start reading now. Just read. You got to start reading as much as possible, okay? As much as you can read before the third, get it all in, then start doing questions. That's your best bet. Watch my videos, read. Okay.
Speaking of that.
Okay, there you go.
There's my question.
Go ahead.
If you had to pick one place where you study your best, where would it be? And post it in the comments. And the idea behind this is I want to see where people can have the most concentration without distractions, because I'm sure a lot of people on here, I was thinking about it. Part of getting ready for the exam is, obviously the studying, but I think it's where do you get your best quality time when you study? And I'm curious to see where you're able to get away from distractions. So I was curious to see where people get where they're most productive.
Okay.
I think it might help other people. So
Yeah. I love that. Okay. Where do I don't study, so that works. Okay. Hannah Major, baby. Okay. If you're passing I understand. If you're passing my exams, you know enough to pass. It's not a gauge of whether you're ready or not. But if you're getting 75 and you did okay on the one I did last night, which some people are doing well on, some people getting their ass kicked. And again, it gives you the vibe of the test. If you feel more comfortable on my brutals than the other stuff, you're good. Okay. So on Thursday, tomorrow, do a quick review of mutual funds and annuities. Obviously, make sure options are solid. And then make sure on STC you read either the morning of or the afternoon, you read chapters 2 and 14. Okay. Yeah. So, Billy, as I said, I would maybe do one more tomorrow, but then that's it. Maybe go back. If you have STC, go back and do number 1. If it's Kaplan, you just got to deal with it. And then just work on mutual funds, annuities, just like I told Hannah. There's certain things, mutual funds, annuities, make sure the options are good. Do my math to Palooza. And let's fucking get this shit done. Hannah and Billy, let's get this fucking shit done. Okay. Okay. Captain Scummy. Okay. I will cover that because it could over the 7. But again, tonight is FINRA night. NASA is Thursday, Captain Scummy. But hopefully you'll see here. Now, it's real quick. There's 3 things: weak, semi-strong, and strong. Efficient, and that this could be on the 7, so I'm willing to do it. Efficient market hypothesis believes that the market is efficient, like a circular definition. Okay, what it means is that the market is priced where it should be. That's what they believe, that the market is where it should be. Okay, that's what efficient market, like there's no advantage, no anything else. Now, what's the best way to do it? Weak form believes that all historical prices are built in, and you could possibly use fundamental to improve to get a better return than expected. Okay, find a diamond in the rough. Okay, now the other one is I'm not even up to 8 o'clock. I'm just up to 8 o'clock now. So now, semi-strong believes that all news that is public is built into the price, and you can only beat it by having information that's not readily available to the public. Strong believes that all news, public and private, is built into the price. None of them believe in technical. Remember that. No efficient market theory believes in technical, and they actually don't believe that mutual funds can do better because they don't believe that they believe the price is supposed to be what it is. If you want a longer conversation, we'll do it on Thursday. Okay. Well, Trist, if you're still here, I don't know what you scored on them. So you just took them. I don't know what you scored. Okay. You want to be by July 30th. You want to be on Kaplan, low 70s, on Achievable and STC. You want to be high 70s. That's definitely where you want to be. Okay. You absolutely want to be there. That's it. Okay. Because you want to make sure that you're knowing what, and Pat, you want maybe take my brutal exams before the 30th to find out where you are. I think that's going to help you a lot. Okay. Where's my stupid thing? Where's my crash course? There it is. Get to some of these. Okay, Hannah, if you're still here, I'm going to put the dump sheet video in there. That'll help you more than anything else. Okay. Okay. I'll answer. Oh, I love it. I love the questions. I love them. Okay. But I'll get to them. That's awesome. Ali, I'll get you a question after. Boom, baby. Emma, you're probably gone because you posted this 27 minutes ago, but I want you here anyway. We're going to fucking celebrate your ass anyway. Okay. Dogs out! Who let the dogs out? Boom, baby. Okay, here we go. So first, David, yes. I'm going to handle the easy ones first. David, X date and record date on the same day. You still have to buy the stock before the X day to get the dividend, but X day and the record date are the same day. Okay. Okay. Don't go so heavy on the margin account. There's not a lot on the test. Okay. Okay, let's do the math here. A little margin. I don't like margin, but we're going to do it, even though Allie's probably long gone. Do me a favor, Jeff, if you see her, Allie, if you're still here, Hannah, if you're still here, comment that you're here, and Jeff will look because I can't see the bottom. Okay. So here we have a market value of 10K and a debit balance of 8K and an MSFA of 1,000. Okay. So now 10K is my market value. 8K is my debit balance, so my equity is 2K. So I'm at 1 minimum maintenance. That's fine. But I'm not enough because how much do I need? Yes, Allie, you're right. I need 25%. So I have to deposit $500 in cash. You cannot use SMA to meet your margin call. So you have to use cash. So you're 2,000. You want 25% of that, which is 2,500. You're 500 under. You put in 500. Don't overthink this shit. Okay. I had to teach. I did an options class for an intern group this morning. I think I did a good job. Okay. Fat girl, unique. Don't worry about it too much. It's not that big a deal. Don't worry about it. You're gonna get it back by rereading the book. Just act like you're brand new. That girl. That girl. Okay. I have to catch up. Okay. Okay. Allie, I'm going to do this one, but no more. I'll do other ones, but no more margins. Okay. Okay. So that girl, if you're on here, just reread the book. I promise it'll come back. Watch my videos. Maybe just spend a day watching my SIE video. I know. Just watch my 7 videos. It'll catch you up. So look, here's what happens. So if you bought 15K of stock in a margin account and you deposit 7,500, that means your debit balance is 7,500, right? Okay. So now, all you remember, interest that you pay will increase your debit balance. So if you pay $80 of interest, your debit goes to 7,580. Okay, because remember, debit is what you owe. So if there's interest, it's increasing it. Now then you drop it down. Okay, because then the dividends drop it down. So you're going to subtract 110 from 7,580. That's 0,747. So now you're going to be at 75. I forgot I know how to do math. So 7,580 is your debit because you added 80 for the interest you paid. Then the dividend you got of 110 reduces it. 7,470, baby. Because remember, debit balance is what you owe. Okay. Let me jump. I'm going to try to do speed round here. Okay. Okay, Allie, I'm not doing that one. This one I refuse to do. I will never do that. That's an STC one. I will never do. Okay, I wanted to do the dumb sheet. Where's my dumb sheet video? Here we go. That's for anyone doing the dumb sheet. That's a great dumb sheet video stuff. Okay. Oh, they all answered. That's a lot of them answered. I want to get in there. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I got to catch up. Oh, you know what? Not so bad. A lot of people gave up because I disappeared. Okay. Okay, Allie, I won't do that one. Something wrong with this thing. Okay, here we go.
Don't die, Ken.
What's wrong?
Somebody wrote, "Don't die, Ken."
Oh, I know. That's when I went out. I know who that is. That's
Hold
somebody.
on.
How crazy it is. There are people who work for firms, or the firms say don't use outside sources, so they have to create fake personas on here so they don't get in trouble. Okay,
I know people like that. Hello.
I know exactly. Okay, right, Byron. Okay. Again, don't sweat it too much. Okay. Matt Tate, as long as it's for the SIE in 7, I'm happy to do it. If it's not for that, and by the way, happy birthday, baby. Okay. Happy birthday. Okay. Oh my God, watch my videos, that girl. That girl, go watch my videos. That'll help more than you think. I promise you. Okay. Oh, there you go. That's so Billy. That's how she does it. He or she. Just do both. Okay. Yes, they will ask either tax equivalent yield or tax. They will ask tax equivalent yield or tax free yield. They will definitely do it. Okay. There we go. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay. Matt, join my adoption membership. You want me to give that shit away for free? What the fuck, Matt? I know it's your birthday, but don't give shit away for free. Join the fucking option. Drop the $24 and you'll never fuck them up again. I will tell you how to do it. So if you're long stock, you either sell a call. I'm not giving that shit away for free, baby. Matt, I don't care if it's your birthday. No gifts for you. So if you're long stock, if they say income, you sell a call. If they say protection, you buy a put. That is it. If they say if you're long stock, you sell a call, you buy a put. Now, what's great about this is that if they want to know break even, it's always stock plus or minus. I'll give that away. For break even, it's always stock plus or minus premium. So the best thing here is that, let's see if I can do it. There we go. Now, see these things? A buy and a sell, you subtract. These are the same, you add. So buy stock, buy put, you add to the stock price. Sell call, buy put, buy stock, you subtract because it's a buy and a sell. If it's the same, you add. If it's different, you subtract. So it's always stock, not strike plus or minus premium. Okay? And again, I'm sorry it's your birthday, but I don't care that much. Okay. Sell for income, buy for protection, baby. Because remember, we buy insurance, we don't sell it. Okay. Billy, I agree. Okay, here we go. Matt's probably gone already. He's celebrating his birthday. Little birthday sex. Okay, here we go. Or if you're old like me, birthday sex is by yourself. No, I'm kidding. Index options seem straightforward, but I'm lost with it. I stuffed that in there, right? Index options seem straightforward, but I'm lost with the given quotes. Okay. Okay, Billy, I'm going to I'll get Matt. If I have time at the end, I'll come back to that. Okay. So, they don't care about, nobody gives a shit. The vendors ask the questions, let it fucking go. I've had probably thousands of students and I asked the same thing. Do you see a question on takedown? Nobody said yes yet. Not in a year. Okay. I can always tell Finn Minty comes at me with the fucking crazy questions. But here's the deal. Expense ratio is what it costs to run the fund. So anything to do with getting in or out of the fund is not. So sales charges and CDSC are sales charges. They are not part of the expense ratio. 12B1, transaction fees, management fees are. Sales going in and out is not. So paying to go in or paying to get out is not part of the expense ratio because that's your problem, not theirs. And everything else, 12B1 fee, transaction fees, which are commissions, management fees, margin, all that shit are part of the expense ratio. Okay. Okay, Captain Scummy, I hope you're not waiting still. I won't. I have videos, but on videos. Again, everyone remember 65, 66, NASA is Thursday night, baby. Okay. Okay. LSU, baby. I would, yes. And I should have a part 2 of my brutal out within a couple of days. I may record it tonight, depending how tired I am. Depending how long we go. If we go long, then no. But if we go semi-short, I might do it after we're done. I would, yes, mix Kaplan and my brutals. I should have another one out in a couple of days. And that's also, if you want to practice more, go to my website, series7exam.org, and you just sign in. There's a quiz up there. You can do 25 question quizzes at a time. I have to figure out how to make it more, but I'm changing it up a little bit to make it better for everyone. But we're going to see. Okay. Yes, remember. So Milan, butterfly, baby. You will, as you go along. I hate that I know the names of these people, right? So, as you go along, so STC 7 is harder than 6. 7 and 8 are legitimately. I think 7 and 8 are harder than the test. Okay. Okay. Nora. Okay. So David, we handled. This is it. Okay. Oh, Audrey, if you're still here, I don't know if you left. I'll come back to the alpha beta. Are they saying funny shit or no?
No. Billy just wrote something. Billy wrote something funny.
Okay. So I have a whole playlist for the 6, baby. Audra, I have a whole Series 6 playlist. Go find the Series 6 playlist. It'll help you a ton. Okay. Alpha beta, baby. The alpha beta. Okay. If you remember Revenge of the Nerds, that's the fraternity, the asshole fraternity, right? Okay. So Nora, if you're still here, it's super easy. So let's say you have a beta of 1.5. Always think of beta as a multiplier, okay? And let's say the market goes up 12%, and you, Nora, you return 21%, okay? So here we go. So if the market goes up 12, you have a beta 1.5. Just multiply that times that. It's that easy. Beta is a multiplier. Now for the 66, it's harder, but not for us. 1.5. So that means if we do 1.5 times 12, we have a beta, we have a risk-adjusted return of 18%. That's where we're expected to do. What did we actually do? 21. We did 3 points better. That's 3 alpha. Me, that's 3 Ken. So alpha is what you do better or worse. Now, if I did 17%, I'd have a negative alpha. Okay. So remember this. So I have a positive alpha of 3 because I did better. If I did worse, I have a negative alpha. Okay. Super easy. For the 66, 65, they had risk-free rate of return, but for this, they don't. Now remember, if you have here's the bigger one. For the SIE 2, if you have a beta of more than 1, you're more volatile than the market, but same direction. If you have a beta of less than 1, but not below 0, you're more conservative. You don't move as much. If you have a beta of negative 1, you move exactly opposite. Okay. Okay. Can't see me. I'm back. Get you clear now. Good. Okay. Here we go. More margin. What the fuck with margin? Okay, this is easy. Here we go. If you remember something, what's the minute? So Sandra D. Okay, what is the minimum maintenance on margin? Yes, $2,000. So the least you can have in a margin account is $2,000. That's minimum maintenance. But if you buy less than $2,000, you only have to put down the max. So let me explain it this way: every year and a half, I put $800 in a margin account. Now, since it's under $2,000, I can't use margin. However, I try to see how long it takes for me to get to 2,000. Because if I put $800 in, it's a margin account. I have to pay full for everything. Once it hits $2,000, boom, I get an extra 2,000 of buying power because I'm using margin. What you have to, so usually it takes me about a year and a half. So I put one in this January. I put $800 in. I'm up to 1,200. That's a good fucking return. My goal is to try to get it up to $2,000 before the end of the year. It's a game I play, whatever. And then I get somehow, once I hit $2,000, my family goes, "Hey, I need $2,000," and it always goes away. Then I start over. It's amazing. Okay. Like literally, it's just amazing. Every time I have money, they go, "Hey, do you have, it's amazing. I think they have a camera on me. Because if I have 2,100 in the account, everybody goes, "I need 2,000." And they go, "I need $2,300. I'm like, how do they know? Now, back to this. If you buy in a margin account, usually minimum maintenance is $2,000. However, if you buy less than $2,000, you just put down what you paid for it. That makes sense. If you short stock, never less than $2,000. So if you short $80 worth of stock, which is stupid, you're putting down $2,000. Okay. There you go. Boom. David answered it. Okay. Billy Ambrose. Okay. You should know this, but I'm going to explain. Okay. Okay, Nora, I hope that helped a little bit. I hope you're still here. Okay. Again, so beta is just a multiplier. Now, that Cora Corgi, I think that could be. I don't know that it's exactly 40, but it could be. There's a lot of bonds on the question, but it's like, it's going to be between corporates and treasuries and munis and maybe some yield questions and current yield. So yeah, you could hit 40 on there. Definitely. Okay. Nothing's T+2. Everything is T+1. Bonds, options, stock, everything's T+2, T+1. Jesus. The only thing that isn't is mutual funds. Okay, so here's the thing. As I just said, everything. But what happened is it's interesting. So when they dropped it from T to 2+1, the regulatory notice said blah, 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 blah. All securities treat T+1 except for mutual funds. They do their own thing. So if you ever see what's exempt from T+1, it's mutual funds. Technically annuities maybe, but the answer is mutual funds. Okay. Nothing is T+2. Everything's T+1. What people get confused with is the S+2, which is when you buy stock on. So let's pretend today's Monday because I can do the math that way. If I buy stock on Monday, it settles on Tuesday, which means the broker dealers settle up. When do you have to pay for it, Billy? You have another 2 days to actually pay for it. So that's called Reg T settlement, which is payment date. So T+1 plus 2. T+1 is settlement plus another 2 for payment. Or they call it S+2, settlement plus 2. Okay. Let's go, Matt. Okay. Laureen, I hope they gave you the link for join. I think it's in there as well. Okay. Now, Lives a lot. Okay, here we go. Now you want to talk about this? Oh, Audra, I read that for him in the kitchen. No sound. I think it's something else. Okay.
There you go.
So you want to read some of these? Look at all these things.
Let me go to where you
Yeah.
are. Hang on.
It's about 8:26.
8:20.
While you do that, I'm gonna look for other things. Okay.
Hang on. All right. There we go. Let's take a look at some of these comments. All right. Here we go. Home. Okay. Library. Before or after in the office. That's smart. I like that one. Another library. At home, I study best. Here's the 4 a.m. in the kitchen, no sound. At work, understand. Yep, these all make sense. Yeah, this is another good one. Getting to the office early. The common theme here that I think people are getting to, at home.
Church. Somebody's here at church.
And Alani
Good for them.
energy drink.
Lordy, lordy, lordy. Good for them.
Wait, who put church?
Oh, no, I thought I heard you say church. That's all.
No. No, the thing that's good is that everybody's going to have a different schedule. Everybody's going to have a different place that they feel comfortable doing it. Some of these homes, the office is a good one. I like, before or after, because you're not getting the emails, you're not getting the phone calls. And it's like isolated away from home. Some people are very comfortable in home. I think the main thing is you figure out where your sweet spot is, and which people are obviously doing here, and where you are going to have. And I think that this is true for everything in life, especially studying, is where can you get the least distractions? Because we all live by this. And the screens and the phone, it's wherever you can go to get away from it the easiest. Whether you leave, Ken always says, leave your phone in the other room. If you're expecting an important call, leave it with somebody, that'll just be on the lookout for, the caller ID. But get everything away from you, because the quality of the studying, I always believe, is more important than the amount. Because the quality, if you can get in a solid 2 hours of studying that are all quality with no distraction, it's much better than spending 4 of on and off, and I'm not talking about taking breaks in between. I'm talking about, if you study for 40 minutes, you take a break for 10, go back for another 40, take a break for 10, and then maybe do another 30 minutes. That to me is fine. But it's that there are so many distractions out there. I see it everywhere. Even on my watch, if you're wearing an iWatch, you're going to get it. If you're wearing earbuds, you'll hear your text messages come through. You've got to find a way to block it out. And I think I think that everybody's capable of learning this, and you're studying it for a reason because you chose to. But I think you got to get rid of as many distractions as possible. I was thinking about it before, even when you're sitting at if you study at your desk and you're sitting there and you have a bill in front of you that that you have to pay, it's a distraction. At least for me, it is.
Yeah.
So, just
not me. I don't pay my bills.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for those of us that actually do pay our bills, I think that's, but I think that can really, really help everybody who's either stuck or you want to maintain a certain progression rate through your studying. Go where you can get the least amount of distractions possible.
I love it.
Back to you.
Back to your live studio audience. Okay, here we go.
We're out here in the hurricane.
I know. By the way, the 2 tornadoes hit about 2 miles from me.
Oh, did they?
One hit west of me, and then one hit up by where my son's school is, where he used to go to school. So, and it's funny, real quick. He was going to go coach at this one place, right? Drew. And then his former college coach called him up because, you're not fucking coaching at Drew. You're coming here. So very good day today, because he said, I just feel like I'm wanted. He's not that anyone cares, but my son just graduated. and he's trying to coach lacrosse, and he does coach some club teams, but he wants to coach at college level, and he was going to take one job at a local school, and his old college coach, where he was captain and all that shit, called him up and said, "You're not doing that. I'm hiring you." So that's always a good day.
I want to show one thing here. Billy deleted.
Yeah, baby.
Media. There you go. Perfect example. It's just for a couple weeks.
Yep.
And as Ken always says,
what? I don't know what I say.
What do you always say?
About what? I say everything all the time. I talk way too much.
It's a
2 week.
4 week. 4 week.
Oh, it's a 30-day problem in a 40-year career. Yes.
Yeah.
So, by the way, hopefully that'll change soon to a 2-week problem, but we'll see. Okay.
We'll find out.
Okay. Now, Billy, no, don't misunderstand me. If they're subject to AMT, go to GOs, not munis. Because remember, revenues are types of muni bonds. So if they're subject to AMT, you want to go toward GOs, general obligation. Okay. Okay. I love this question, Anne. Okay. I don't know how, but here's the thing. Don't think about it. Because understand, so when I ski, and I haven't skied in a long time, but I actually skied this year for the first time, so whatever, in a long time. When I used to ski and go through the trails, you know what you don't look at? You don't look at the fucking trees. You don't look at the trees. You know what happens, Jeff, if you look at trees while you're skiing? You hit the fucking trees, okay? That's what happens. So don't think about that.
It's kind of like when you see somebody fall in front of you and then you fall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when you're skiing.
Well, they do that thing. You ever see that? There's a trick on where you put the phone in front. It shows like one of these falling in front of you. If you watch it long enough, you fall. So, and I can't say anything else other than don't think about failing. You have to keep saying to yourself, I'm going to pass. Here's the thing. If you're passing everything and you've done my brutal exams and you've done the work and you go over the crunch and facts from SDC or whatever it is, if you've done the work and you feel confident, you will do much better than if you don't. There's no way around that, okay? Now, and remember, I guess it sucks that you failed twice. It does. But again, you've now seen the questions. You know what they look like. You know how to study. You can't say I'm going to be blindsided. And I have found, and this is purely anecdotal, I have found that the third shot is usually a little easier than the second one. Not easier than the first. Guys, always remember, first shot is always the best, so don't rush it. But I'm saying that the third shot is usually not as hard as the second. I don't think that's actually a thing, but it feels that way.
I think for this particular one, how to get over this, and you've taken it twice, look at the positives. You've taken it twice. You know what to expect. You know what it's like sitting in that room. And I always put a little emphasis on sitting in that room because, it's just a blank screen with very, that's typed letters. It's very bland. There's nothing exciting about it. But you're prepared. But you know what to expect. So there's no reason to be afraid of the unknown because you're well past that point. So now just take that and just refine your studying a little bit and you'll be fine. And do your heavy studying. And when I say heavy studying, like, read the book. If you take your time reviewing the exams, do your heavy studying now so that you feel, do with the answers off. Simulate the environment. That's another reason of like going into another room with no distractions because it'll simulate the test environment because they usually make you lock up your phone and all that stuff. So you're don't fear it. Get comfortable with it. And I think just approach it from a different angle.
Yep. Okay. I agree. Oh, butterfly. That's a great point. I'll get to that. Let me roll back. Okay, we're getting off the fear of failing because we're not going to think about it. So the other way is every day fucking say I'm going to pass. Every fucking day go, I'm a bad bitch. I'm going to beat this thing. I need you to say that. And Bala, if you're still here, anyone taking the test, I need to hear, I'm a bad bitch. I'm going to beat this thing. I need to say some sort of thing I'm going to pass because sometimes people are worried about jinxing it. Fuck that crap. You're going to own this thing.
Yeah.
If you ever believe, I don't want to say because I'll jinx it, that you're giving power to someone else. Take your own power, baby. Manifest that shit. Okay. Yes, if you can get done with the book, you have 8 more? If you can get done with the book before the end of July, say by like the 20, what's today? If you can get through by like the 26th or 27th, like this weekend, you have enough time. And then do chapter quizzes and then start banging out final. Definitely enough time. Okay, Billy, my crash course playlist. That's what you watched the day before. And if anything, the gorilla style, I think I don't know if I'm, and then my quick and dirty. Those for sure. But that crash course play is like 16 videos. They're all high target shit. Okay. Yeah, Trist, I agree. That's very funny, right? Past Perfect is known for saying don't use outside sources because they're just afraid. They're afraid of us. Okay. And yep, if you have options, you buy for protection, you sell for income, baby. Okay. Billy, I agree. Okay. But yeah, so that link, Kelsey, if you're still here, is a dump sheet for both. Because I walk through it and I start with SIE and then I show what would be SIE versus 7. Because a lot of the stuff for the SIE and the 7, dump sheet or overlap. Okay. Oh my God, you're AB, baby. That's awesome. If you're getting 80s on Past Perfect and my Brutals, you're ready, baby. Come back on Thursday night and tell us. Okay. Yes, if you're still here, yes, it covers beginning 10. I don't think one thing I do change it a little bit because I don't love the way they do it. I may do a little bit of my own order, but I pretty much go through 1 through 20, almost the same idea. Okay. Yeah, Trista, I believe 80s on Past Perfect is outstanding. Okay. Butterfly, yes. Manifest the confidence. That's why I say you guys got to say I'm a bad bitch. You got to fucking say it. I'm a bad bitch and I'm going to beat this fucking thing. 100%. Okay. Okay. Billy, I'm okay with explaining this shit. The buy-sell shit, it's the break-evens and the profit-loss analysis. So if I sell...
But he did pay the $25 for your option.
I agree.
So
I love it. That's
so,
awesome.
so that's what I was laughing at before.
I know. So here's the deal. So this is it. So we sell an October 50 call for $2. That's easy. That's an open thing. I have a $2. My break even's 52, but it may matter. Then they close out. What does that mean? First of all, that's an opening sale. Close out means buy it back. So we buy it back at 5. So this is literally, it could be widgets. I don't care. So you sold them at 2 and bought it back at 5. Sold it at 2, bought it at 5. So if this was widgets, I don't know, fucking dildos. I don't give a shit what you do. Widgets, carts, fire trucks. I know Jeff's like, whatever. What? I'm trying to shock you. I don't give a shit. If you sell something for 2 Matchbox cars and buy it for 5, you lose $3 times 2. That's 6, which is 600. So again, if you're going to see this on the test, some version of this. So if I sell an option for 2 and then buy it back for 5, I'm losing $3. Reverse it. I bought it for 5 and sold it for 2. That's a $3 loss. Times 2, that's $600. Again, it could be anything. So if I say I bought a call for 8 and then it rose and I sold it for 12, bought it 8, sold it 12, I make 4. The vendors fuck with you a lot because they go, oh, you sold it at 50, you sold the 50 call too, and then it rose and you bought it back at intrinsic. I haven't seen the test do that. Pretty much they're going to give you the number. They might screw you once in a while, but most of the time it's just this. Okay. No, don't pay a dime for the video. Yeah.
7.
Don't pay a dime for the options video for the SIE. However, Matt, anyone, you know my memberships, right? I don't know if you guys know the memberships. Here we go. So real quick, super duper, and I'll catch up with everyone. We have an options membership, a mere $24 a month. Then but we have a lower one called the $5 a month membership where I just yell at you. No, it's really just you get the SIE. You see a blank wall. You don't get anything. So it's just, but no, you actually every Wednesday night I have a guy, Mike LaRosa, one of my tutors. He's really good. He comes on every 7 o'clock Eastern, every Wednesday. He does a class for the SIE. You come in with questions, you get questions answered. That to me, that's fucking worth it. Okay. Then you go, if you want the classes with me, not this Zoom, it's Zoom. It's $34 a month for the class at 6:30. It's FINRA only. Plus everything you get the thing before it. So 24 is options. My options videos will blow your mind. 34 is options plus a class. $49.99 is options plus a class plus an options class right after. And then the $99 one is those 3 plus a Wednesday night class at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Boom. Oh, wait. Are you still here, Brendan?
And we'll include the Ginsu carving knife.
The Ginsu carbonate. Actually, I jumped everyone, but I'm going to take care of this one. Yeah, I'm telling you, you see a lot. You might, I'm not saying you'll see my questions on the exam, but you might see something very, very, very similar. I'm just going to leave it at that. Where's my good one? My oldie but a goodie. I love that video for some reason. Okay. I got to go back a little bit because I really jumped the gun on that. Okay. Okay. Wait, Finn Minty, I'm glad that helps. So, how much harder is a PP? How much harder is a PP? There is a fucking joke in there, and I'm not going to jump on it. But past perfect is, I think past perfect is much more convoluted and harder. That's what she said. Than random, than the Series 7. So I'm going to tell you, the PP is harder than the Series 7 for sure. Okay. Sandra D. Okay, here we go. Very good. A markup is for principal. It's the same idea. It's a commission, but you can't call it a commission. A markup is when, so let's do it this way. Let's talk about a commission. You buy a car from a car dealer. That's a bad idea because they rip you off. Right? That's like both. Okay, so look, if you buy a house from a realtor, you're going to buy a house for $100,000 and pay a $5,000 commission. You're getting a commission for being the middleman. Okay, that's that. However, a markup is like if you go to a restaurant and buy a bottle of wine for $30, you know they bought it for $5. Okay, and they mark it up to 30. So that markup is they buy it and then they sell it to you with a markup. So remember, PDM, principal dealer markup, or PIDM, principal inventory dealer markup. Those words go together. And then ABC, you know me. ABC is agent, broker, commission. It's really ABC, 1, 2, 3. ABC, agent, broker, commission. They go together, and that's when you act as a middleman. They charge a commission. A markup and markdown are like commissions, but they're not. Okay. So what happens is you buy stock, they sell it to you at a price plus a markup, and that markup is their version of their commission. Okay. Yeah, Butterfly, absolutely. So you're going to get a question on this. What's one of the biggest impacts on alpha? Management change. So alpha is doing, remember we did the question before. The alpha is what you do better than expected. Okay. So like I teach this, I'm the alpha. It should be here, I'm here, right? So if I leave, it drops back down to shit. Okay. So if you're a mutual fund, a manager, investment advisor, a portfolio manager for a mutual fund. Let me start that again. If you are a portfolio manager for a mutual fund and they've been there for a while, they have long tenure. Their talent is beating the market. If they leave, the alpha may leave with them, okay? Because alpha is what they do better than expected. So one of the biggest impacts on alpha is leadership changing, okay? Eric, hope you're still here. You're probably not, but I hope you still are. We haven't had one of these in a while. Okay, good stuff. And that's what I'm saying. This is the thing. If I'm saying shit and you're following along going, I understand what he's saying, you're in great shape because I talk fast and I mumble. So if you go, oh my God, I know what he's talking about, you're in great shape. That means you're ready. Angelita, baby. You're going to, I know, listen, you're going to nail it. Okay. Listen, Butterfly, we're going to think positive, right? Even if you miss, it's a 30-day problem in a 40-year career, but you are so much stronger than you were a couple months ago. Do you remember when you were doing the SIE? You were like, I didn't know anything. Now you know so much. So even if you miss, you're going to miss by a little bit. Missed it by that much. Boom. I'm glad that helped, Nora. Okay. Listen, start going to bed at Billy. You're stressing out. You're stressing out. Okay. That's the problem. So I need you to not. So Thursday, no test. Go to bed at a normal time. Get the fuck off here. Go get some sleep. Boom. Okay.
That's all. It's crazy, Bill. You know it's crazy, Billy. like I've seen you on here for a while now, and all the other times you've been on here, you've been answering questions for other people. You know this stuff.
I know he does,
So,
but you gotta fucking believe it.
Feel good, yeah. Like feel good about yourself. Don't second guess it.
You gotta believe. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Butterfly's not going to be oversaturated. It's still going to pass the fucking test. They're just narrowing it because I think they realize that 30 days is too long. I just marked. That's from the marker. Okay, so now I hope that's a marker or that I'm dying. So they're narrowing the retest. Eventually, when they fucking announce it, okay, when they find, I mean, I think that they made a thing and everyone believed this fucking thing. Their announcement that they're shortening goes, it's blah, 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 effective immediately. And everyone put posts up saying it was effective immediately. And they go, but at the end, we will send a regulatory notice when we're implementing it. It could be fucking months. It could be tomorrow. It could be the 30th. I think it's going to be around the 30th of this month. They're going to flip shorten it to 15, 60. But who the hell knows? And it's not for NASA. I don't know what's going to happen with the narrowing. Okay. And yes, Billy, T+1 is everything. Yeah, there you go. Look, it's so holding period for 144 for restricted shares is absolutely 6 months. Absolutely. Okay. So Billy, I gave that. There you go, Cal. Push all those things. That's good. I gave you a dumb sheet. You can take a look at that. Okay. Quick and dirty on different regulations for the SIE. That's too wide. You got to help me out a little bit. Okay. I mean, did you mean the rules? Like, okay, Active 33. The only thing, I mean, that regulates, it's fucking like a 3-hour thing. So I'm going to give you the acts. That's what I'll do. Okay. The Active 33. The Active 33 is for primary markets. You have to do it. You file a registration statement. You do a 20-day review. During that 20-day review, you can only do like preliminary prospectuses, indications of interest. After the 20 days, the SEC declares it effective. And then you can start selling it. That's when the Active 34 comes in. That's when you have that's all about the secondary market, manipulations, broker dealers, short sales, proxy rules, issue reports. It's all about ongoing with the broker dealers. I have an acronym called MISPERMS. I'm going to say it quick, but you watch the video again. MISPERMS is Active 34. Margin, insiders, SEC, short sellers, proxies, vote by mail. Exchanges and broker dealers had to register with the SEC. R reports, 10Q quarterly. These were issuers. 10Q quarterly, 10K annual, 8K special. Then we have M, which is manipulation, bad shit, and S for stabilization. That's when the issuer, the underwriter, holds the stock up. That's Active 34. The Active 39, which nobody ever forgets about, is corporate bonds. That's a trust indenture, Active 39. All corporate bonds have to be issued under a trust indenture, and that trust indenture is an agreement between the issuer and the trustee who's watching over for the investors. Okay. Active 40, there's 2 of them. Unfortunately, both of them sound the same. I don't know what they were thinking. Investment company Active 40 is for mutual funds. Remember, FUM, face amount certificates, unit investment trust, management companies. Those are under REITs or not. 529s are not under there. Remember, REITs are not. Then we have the Investment Advisors Active 40. It's for investment advisors that are registered under the SEC. Remember, investment advisors are firms that give advice. They don't do executions. Yes, Trista, I agree. Be a fucking duck. That's my big thing. You got to be a duck. I'm literally about to put a video out in 30 seconds about that. Okay. Guys, if you want to do a study group together, remember, you can do the Wednesday night thing and talk to each other. It's $5 a month. However, if you go on my channel, Capital Advantage Tutoring, I do free Zoom. I pay for free Zoom groups. I have one just for the SIE. People pop in, like Susan just popped in now. She sees if anyone's on there, and then if anyone's on there, she works with them. It's not a teacher, it's just a student. And then she comes out and does stuff. It's kind of cool. The other one is join the Facebook group. It's the largest Facebook group by far, the most active. It's amazing. It's over 9,000 people, and it's private so that you don't have your shit leave the group. And since it's private, people have to apply to get in, which is easy. Answer 3 easy questions. You know, like what's the square root of 4,022? No. And it keeps the scammers out because I block about 80 people a week of scammers trying to get in. Okay. So my job is to protect you. Okay. In the big hug. Okay. KB, it's amazing, right? Yeah. It's amazing. Past Perfect is Like if you're super finance background, super fucking brain, you do well on those and then do well on everything. I don't expect anyone. I had one of my students couldn't get over a 62 on the Past Perfect 66 and said the test was so easy. So the good thing about Past Perfect is that it's super hard. So if you pass them, you're good. But the bad thing is it's super hard and makes you lose confidence.
Do you think there's any chance that the people that score 50s and 60s like this example, and then they pass the exam, do you think it's because maybe when they're doing the practice exams, they're rushing through it, but they still know the material, and then they maybe take their time more on the real exam? And
I think it could be. For other vendors, yes. But I think Past Perfect is so fucking convoluted. Like they actually make you do yield to maturity. They used to do a thing where you
yield
had
to
to
maturity.
Yeah.
How can you possibly do that on the exam?
I know. You can't. They don't do it on the real exam. They had a question for where they wanted me to figure out the bond price based on where the yield was and that it was closer to this. I was like, no. I used to panic. I'm like, I don't remember this being on the exam. Then I realized it's not on the fucking exam. Again, I sort of like the people at Past Perfect, but they are absolutely, when there's a number in the question, they are trying to prove how smart they are, now how smart
you should post what the real yield to maturity calculation is one day on here.
Oh my God, it's fucking nuts. Yeah, it's crazy.
You can't do that on the exam.
What? You know what happened? Here's what's going to happen. If I do that, someone here is going to be half-ass paying attention. And no offense, guys, but we all know we don't pay. We all second. You're all watching this and watching your phone at the same fucking time. We all know you're doing it because I do it. I have to rewind all the time. But if I put that yield to maturity formula up there, somebody will look up and think, "Oh my God, that's a formula I have to remember." And then,
yeah.
Okay. So Billy Ambrose, I will do this, but it's not okay. Okay. You don't include settlement date. We include trade. You do, yeah. Since everything's T+1, you go up to the trade date. Okay. So if you buy a bond, let's see if I can do this. Okay. It's harder to do in the writing. Say it's a you know what a J&J bond means, people? January and July, not Johnny John. Okay. So if it's a January and July bond, I'm almost done. So okay. January and July bond. Okay. And let's say you buy the bond. I'll write this down. So you buy the bond on May 15th. Okay. So January and July, that means it's every January and July it pays. So we're going to count from January till May. Now I bought it on May 15th, which means it settles on the 16th, but I count the day before settlement. So I'm going to count to the 15th. So in a corporate, I'm going to go January, February, March, April. So it's a corporate 30, 30, 30, 30, which is 120 plus 15 is 135 days. Now, if this is a treasury, 31, 28, 31, 30. I don't know what the fuck that is. I think it's still 130, but come on. There we go. I hate when I try to do an alert shows up. See, leave your phone away. So we're going to do 31 for January, plus 28 for February, plus 31 for March, plus 30 for April, plus 15, still 135 days. It works out to be the same thing. So it's 135 days of accrued interest. I haven't really seen people ask that on the real test, but the vendors love to ask it. But remember, you count up to, but not including settlement. But be careful on the settlement ones, okay? Be very careful on the settlement ones, on the vendors, because sometimes they say, instead of saying they bought it on the 15th, they go, it settles on the 15th, which means they count the day before. But you mostly have to just know that it's from the last payment date to the day before settlement, or if it's a new bond, from the dated date. Remember that. If it's from a new bond, it's from the dated date. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. Annabelle, it should. Okay. Here we go. I like that. Okay. I've taken my Series 63. I've tested around this every but failed by 1 point, even though if I'm confident. Okay. Rags and communications. Another Monday podcast. Okay. The 63 is tricky. Okay. Yeah, the 63, you're either going to get an easy one, and sometimes you go too fast, you get screwed up. So the problem with the 63 is that you can't study when you fail for 30 days. You'll go nuts. Okay. So you take a week off, then you go back and read the book twice. Then start doing questions. You're bad at. You need to go for everything. I promise you. Don't just go after the weak shit. Go after everything. Okay. Trash stack. We're gonna pass, baby. Okay. Okay. Now, hold on, Billy. Yes, my brutals are the closest thing you will ever see to the exam, other than when you're sitting in the Prometric Center. Okay. No matter what anyone says, there's going to be nothing closer to what I did. Now, yeah, you could get the ass kicker exam, but pretty much it's going to be you, because so once in a while somebody gets the one with the long questions. It happens, but I got long questions on there too. But for the most part, that's the problem. A lot of people get screwed up because Past Perfect and Kaplan overcomplicate shit, and then you walk into the exam and they're very straightforward, and you're like, wait, where's the trick? And the gotcha is there's no trick. Okay. Okay. How do you get prepared for being benched? Okay. No, here's the thing, Joanna, you can't just, that was 6 months ago. How are you going to remember that? How are you going to remember what you knew 6 months ago? So no, you were so close last time. It sucks, but you got to go after everything. Here's the thing. You got to act like it's brand new. You got to act like everything's brand new, even if it delays you by a couple of weeks, because I was in a place where they'll let you take it again because 6 months is a long time. Joanna, I would absolutely act like you're brand new, maybe switch your vendors, but act like you're brand new, read everything, call the vendor up, tell them to reset everything, make it look like you're brand new, and act like you're a little baby, a little tiny baby studying for it.
You know, don't ask me why I thought of this, but you know when you buy something from like IKEA and you have to put it together, and you say and you go, you know what, I can do this. I don't need to read the directions. Oh, God. And then you get to the end, and there's that one piece that you needed to put on at the beginning of the process, and then you have to undo the whole thing and redo it after reading the directions, and then it comes out fine. To me, it's the same. It's the same thing as this.
Yep.
It's the same type of concept.
Yeah.
Do it the full way from the beginning.
Yeah.
Don't take a shortcut.
I've learned the hard way. Yeah.
It's not worth it.
As chaotic as I am, I have never done an IKEA thing without reading the instructions. Like I'll do the drawers once I get it down, right? But I will read it because it's amazing. You're like this. Why am I doing this? Oh, and then it's just like, it's kind of like ways. Like you don't know what you're doing, and this, you know, you got a fucking dresser. Okay.
I actually put together my own Weber barbecue.
Did you really?
Yeah, I laid one. I just laid it all out in the backyard on the deck.
A gas one?
Pieces. Yeah, with the pieces. And I just said, I'm just going to go slow. And it came out absolutely perfect.
I think you should put together a car.
I think we're overestimating my abilities.
No, but I bet you if like an old, like a Mustang or something like that, and you just read the fucking shit, you could probably not put together.
I've been around people who, because you know I like cars. I've been around people who have done that and like added components to their car. Like I watched somebody do this massive overhaul project on a regular Mustang, put a supercharger on there. He had to undo the whole thing because there was like one little piece that he missed. Right. And like you've got to be so patient. And so
I know, I agree. Because it's always like one nut doesn't work and it's angled in there.
It's threading a bolt into the cylinder head or something like it's crazy.
And you got to do it 3 times. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But the point is that just take the extra effort to do it the right way.
Yep.
Don't skip a chapter. It's just not worth it.
Yep. Okay. Oka always, if you're still on here, yes. Mid 70s are fine because you know they get harder and harder as you go up. So if you're staying in the mid 70s, you're getting better and better. Okay. Yes, I'm telling you right now, this is a big one, Butterfly and Tristic. Read the fucking question. As I said, one of the girls on the group last night, do you remember Jenny Armstrong? I think it was Jenny. She reads the answers. She goes DCBA. I don't remember she said that. DCBA, and then she reads a question. I'm a fan if the question's more than 2 sentences, reading the answers and then reading the questions. I do kind of look at the whole thing and take in the whole thing at once, and then, but I do try to read the answers first. Okay. No, there isn't. Belly, no, because it's not part of it. He's talking about my buy-sell question. There's no way to do it other than just buy and sell. Like literally, here's the thing. People get caught up in their own fucking head, right? They go, it's so hard. It's not fucking hard. If I bought this for $1 and sold it for $3, I make $2. if I sold this for 2 and then bought it back for 5, I lose 3. It's literally just a buy and a sell. It doesn't matter. That's an option. Whether that's a call or a put. If you sell an option and then you buy it, it doesn't matter. Call or put. It's just a buy and a sell. Okay. Oh my God, you're ready, baby. Ashley. Boom. You love it. If you're taking the 7, you are a bad bitch, baby. If you're taking the 7, everyone taking the 7, do a quick review of customer accounts and disclosures. If it's Kaplan, it's 13 and 14. If it's STC, it's 2 and 14. If it's Past Perfect, I have no fucking idea. And Achievable, it's near the end, I think. Okay.
How are you 20 minutes behind?
I know. but it's not that much. Okay. Oh, she said, don't play that one I passed. Okay, I won't.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Which one was that one?
That was
Oh, the new I won't do Melania. I won't do that to you. I promise. Okay.
And you can't do that. So it passes.
Okay. Yeah, don't sweat. Yeah, you don't worry about the math. Again, they do it a little much, but don't worry about the math. If you understand the concept for the SIE, you're fine. You might have to get break even. Just remember, if a break even is the most you'll have to do is break even on it. It's stock plus or minus premium. And if it's 2 buys or 2 sells, you add. If it's a buy and a sell, you subtract. Okay. Okay, Brandon. A fund of funds, baby. Okay. Fund of funds is, and again, in real world, it's a little different. But a fund of fund is a mutual fund that owns hedge funds. A mutual fund owns stocks. So it's kind of like giving away a way for normal people to buy into the hedge fund world. But the problem is you're going to pay hedge fund fees and mutual fund fees for its extra fees. The only reason you do a fund of funds is not a fund of other mutual funds. Remember that. It's not a fund of other mutual funds. It's a fund of hedge funds, okay? A fund of fund is a fund of hedge funds, so you're getting involved in the hedge funds, okay? Billy, I love it, baby. That's all we want, okay. Oh, that's a good question. It depends. Is it your first shot? Here's the thing, Amanda. Go if you're still here. I don't know if you're still here. Go on, do my brutal exams. If you pass them, go take it. Go in the brutal exam playlist. I have a thing called a baseline. My baseline exam is not like my brutals. It's pretty straightforward, but it's all topics. I tell everyone this is my not am I ready test. It's an am I not ready test. If you don't pass that with high flying colors, you're not ready. If you get like a 72 on baseline, move your test. So if you want to know if you should move it, take my baseline. If you pass that with flying colors, then you're probably ready. You know the concepts. You fail it, you're definitely not ready. Then do the brutals, and then come on Thursday night, even though it's NASA night, come on Thursday and let me know. Okay. Yeah, that's fine, but if you just small ones, okay. So Nora, the reason the short margin one, it's still 50%, right? So whenever you buy or sell, buy or short is still 50%, but the minimum is higher on a short. Do you know why? Because you have unlimited loss. That's why, because if you short stock, you lose an unlimited amount of money, where if you buy stock, the most you can lose is the stock. So if you buy $500 worth of stock, the most you can lose is $500. If you short 500, you can lose an unlimited, so they make it potential $2,000. They don't want you shorting $500 worth of stock, so they make it expensive. Okay. Okay. First of all, an ETF, here's the big one. An ETF is suitable if they're looking for low fees, diversification, liquidity, and what they call a tax efficiency. Remember, if you ever see tax efficient, you are going to an ETF because you don't pay taxes till you sell the fucker. So it's very tax efficient. Okay. Efficient. Good. Okay. If they're not on that, if they're not on there, let me see something. They're in the playlist. They're in a math playlist. Let me see something. Let me use my Series 7 math. Let me find that. Also, Billy, find my Series 7 tricky questions. Anyone taking the 7, you copy. I would try to watch these videos too. They will help you a ton. They're all like tricky questions. I'm not saying they're on the exam. I'm just saying they're like what's on the exam. I got to leave it that way. Okay. Let me find my Series 7 math. Where is my? There it is. Okay.
Yes,
if you go in here,
We're international. Somebody just said hello from Brazil.
Brazil. Hello. Hola. Actually, I shouldn't say that. They speak Portuguese. Okay.
Yeah.
Although I think they said if you're Portuguese, or no, if you're Spanish, you can understand the common Portuguese, but you can't understand the high Portuguese. Okay. Okay. So Billy, if you want to watch those videos in that 7 playlist, there's something in there about splits. Okay. Don't sweat them too much. Focus on adding knowledge, butterfly. I promise you. Okay. Okay. They're not. You know that's fucked up. They're just saying that because they have to. But we know that's fucked up. Like if you told them gun to your head, pew to your head, okay? And he would say no. He's just saying that because he has to. No, here it this way. Their UI looks like the test. Like if you should mimic the exam. Probably the amount of questions. No, you know what? Even that's wrong because they go fucking nuts on margin. So no, he's fucking wrong. Okay. Welcome to the membership. Welcome to the dark side, Miss Swag. Okay. Kelsey, boom. Remember, it's tomorrow. Guys, if you join the membership to do the classes, make sure you turn notifications on because the Zoom link goes out around 2 hours before the class, and it's at 7 p.m. Eastern. It goes out about 2 hours before the class. Okay. On the in the post tab. So if you don't see, I didn't get the email. Go on my playlist where it says post. It should be right there. Okay. Okay. Santiago, we're gonna get this, baby. What's the crying for? I need you to say I'm gonna pass it. Santiago Sosa. I need you to come on and say I'm gonna pass this like a bad bitch. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay. In the first year of business, in a broker deal's first year of business, every retail communication is filed with FINRA 10 days before. Now, after that, there's only if I remember, so it's mutual funds, options, forwards, futures. Mutual funds, options, futures, CMOs, and PPPs are filed with FINRA, not approved by FINRA, filed with FINRA, and most of them are within 10 days. I think the forwards are before, but who cares? So within 10 days of use, okay? However, if the option is before they've gotten the disclosure doc, it's 10 days before, and the mutual fund, just remember this one, if it's a mutual fund and they have what they call self-created rankings or ratings, then that's filed 10 days before. Other than that, it's 10 days after. But it's only those 5 things. Mutual funds, options, DPP, CMOs, and futures. Other than that, nothing filed with FINRA after the first year of business. Okay. Sorry, you're not going to like it. I do a collar video if you go to my options math playlist, it's in there. But Ryder, most of the stuff about hedging and straddles and short straddles and stuff, all the spreads and stuff are in my membership, which is a mere $24 a month. So you buy it once and cancel the next day. You have it good for a month. It will change your fucking life. And the collars is on the free side. I think I do a video where you can take straddle questions on your own for free, but everything else is behind the paywall because I'm a greedy fucking bastard. Okay. I got a wedding to pay for, people. Okay. By the way, Matt, you can go tomorrow night. You just ask questions on the stuff you've read already. So I'm saying, write down stuff you're struggling with. Don't push it off. Go tomorrow night. Mike's going to be there. Usually there's only 1 or 2 people in there, so it's almost like a private lesson. Ask anything you want. Don't wait till next week. Do it now. Why wait? Do it now. Okay. Yes, I think if you're right there, Billy, you should be in good shape. You're in good shape. Just be confident. Okay. Oh, Santiago. And then what's the fucking cry face for? You're getting 80% Clapton? Clapton, Eric Clapton. Okay. Go do my brutals and come back and say that what you're doing. Okay, tell me how you did. Because if you're scoring 80s on Kaplan and it's not memorization, you're in great shape. So no fucking crying. No crying in Wall Street. Okay. Okay. Antonio, let's go, baby. You're taking in a few days all the way from Brazil. Ciao, ciao. Okay. I know that's Italian. Okay. Oh, you're taking the SIE exam. Watch my crash course. Make sure you get, here's the thing. If you're taking the SIE exam, make sure that before you take it, you watch my crash course. I have some good videos, especially my power hour. And make sure you have down registered rep rules, like what they can and can't do, and investment risk. That's most of the test. Okay. Here we go. Euro bonds and euro dollar bonds. Yes, they are on the test. A euro dollar bond is a bond issued by like a U.S. company like Apple. It's issued in another country, but it pays in U.S. currency. Okay? So it pays in U.S. currency. Okay? Now, a euro bond is the same thing, but no U.S. So it's almost like Sony's Korean? No, Sony's Japanese. Sony issues a bond in Germany. I was thinking Samsung. Sony issues a bond in Germany, but it pays in yen. Not the same idea. That's a euro bond, okay? Then a euro dollar is when a U.S. currency is in a foreign bank, but it's kept as the massive, amazing dollar versus a crappy euro. So if you put a euro dollar is U.S. currency in a foreign bank. It's not a trade. Euro dollar bonds are like U.S. companies issuing bonds in other countries, but it pays in U.S. currency. Euro bonds are the same thing, but no U.S. Okay. Yes, I'm telling you, Enbel. I'm telling you right now. That's when they make you stay in this little closed fucking system, and they don't let you go outside of it. When there's a whole world of sunshine and roses and wine and roses and flowers outside your fucking bleak, past perfect world. Okay. What's the best material for the SIE? No. Achievable, STC, Securities Institute, and Kaplan. If you have Kaplan, you're fine, especially taking it in a few days, so don't worry about that. But if you were going to start over again, I would go for the SIE, I would say Achievable for sure. Okay. Let's go, baby. Olichka. I love it. That's awesome. I'm telling you, the options will change your fucking life. I promise you that. Okay. Okay, we're getting near the end, baby. KB, I'll get you in 1 second. No. Oh, so tomorrow, if you're taking the test Thursday, done with the test. Maybe watch my brutals because they're not really tests, because maybe you get a little inspiration for exam questions. Go over it. Mutual fund and annuities, customer counts. I don't know what vendor you have, but if it's Past Perfect, I don't know what they are. But if it's Kaplan, 13 and 14, again, customer counts and disclosures. That's big. Okay. Now
You need to get to Billy's question so he can go to bed.
Okay, I got it. Okay, hold on. Okay. Yeah, look what Ball said. Yes, they don't look like the Past Perfect. Ball, I appreciate that. Okay. Okay.
And
how much of the Series 7 is math? Not a lot. Other than, I mean, look, you may get 20 questions. But again, as I tell everyone, if you're doing algebra, you're doing something wrong. KB, let me tell you something. I am math challenged. Yes, I can do some of it. The basic shit I can do. But I am math challenged. Like if I go 13 minus 8, I'm going like this. Okay, I'm using my fingers. Yet I've never gotten less than a 95 on these exams. So understand there is math on it, but it's not hard. Most of the math is going to be options or stock splits or convertibles or maybe like tax equivalent yield and stuff. It's not a heavy math test. It will be there, but not enough to, like, if you can know and get everything else down, you'll be fine. Math is not the thing that's going to kill you. I'm almost up to Billy, baby. Okay. Okay, Heidi, I'll try to help you a little bit. Okay. Okay. This is what I said. I want you to spend the next day, do one more final, and then then add knowledge. Maybe here's the thing. Do chapter quizzes until then, okay? No tests on Friday. No tests on Friday. Okay, so I would go back and watch videos, add knowledge, maybe a test tomorrow, just maybe spend tomorrow and Thursday doing chapter quizzes on the weakest stuff, Butterfly. That's probably your best bet. And make sure you come on Wednesday night, right? We got that going. Okay. Last one, Billy. Oh, look at that. The old kiss up for the last question. Thanks a lot. Okay. I love how you kiss up. I always enjoy that. Okay. What about ADRs? What about them? It's basically, think of it this way. Bank of America says there's a branch in Switzerland. They buy a bunch of shares of Nestle, that racist company, but whatever it is, they buy shares of the company, package it, and then sell the package in the U.S. So it's a U.S. stock that represents a foreign security. It moves up and down with the foreign company. It's like buying the foreign stock. Now it pays dividends in U.S. currency. However, Nestle pays dividends in their krona and the franc or whatever, the franc. Okay. Then Switzerland taxes it, and then you get it. Now, any taxes paid on that, you get as a deduction or a credit against your taxes here. ADRs are liquid. They trade on exchange. You can buy them on margin. You can sell them short. They represent a foreign security. But remember, the dividends are taxed in the other country first, and then they come here. Okay. Now, this one, we're going to end on this one. This is a long one. I don't know how much I can do. But understand, when you buy a call, okay? There you go. Next, FIFA's in Portugal. Okay. There you go. Spain and Morocco. Got it. Okay. I will. Now that it, although how can it compare to the way it does here? Right? Okay. Now, if I buy a call and I exercise it, I'm buying the stock. If I buy a put and I exercise it, I'm selling the stock. So that's the same thing. So if I buy a call and it's exercised, I'm buying it. If I sell the call, I have to sell it. So when you exercise, you're actually buying or selling the stock. Closed is you're buying or selling the option. So as I said to Billy, Billy's like, I was going to go to bed. Good luck. So if I buy, and I won't use my disgusting thing, you can buy widgets, not the other thing I said. So if you buy a 50 call at 3, remember, this is the product, right? You bought the product for $3. If the stock goes up, you can then sell. This is an opening buy. Then you could sell the 50 call for 4. That's closing it out. So you bought it for 3, you close it up for 4, you make $1. So closeout just means get rid of it. So if you sell an option for 3 and buy it back for 5, you're closing it out of 5. You're just losing 2. But if you buy an option and then sell it, that's closing out. Exercise is exercising is what I don't do anymore. Exercising is when you actually buy the stock or sell the stock. Okay, I'm going to end on this, but you're answering this one. Okay, first of all, hold on. This is one more thing. Stay off of fucking Reddit. Anyone taking the test in the next week or two, do not go on Reddit. Okay, do not go on Reddit. Because you're going to get one person who goes, I studied for 200 hours, you're going 80%, and I failed. And it's going to be in your head and you're going to be fucked up. It doesn't mean anything. One, people on Reddit lie all the fucking time. People, moderators, everyone lies on that fucking Reddit. I go on there just to keep people from going insane. I don't even go on there much. I have the SIE exam. I have all FINRA ones. I have like 4 different subreddits. I'm on there literally just to keep people sane, okay? Because people go nuts. So don't go on Reddit. But the thing is, except for that, he didn't lie. You should use my videos. Okay, so
that's what I was going to say. Why?
I know. No, I'm kidding around. But the point is, stay over. I saw that the whole time, but I was like, oh, yeah, but that one. Don't worry about it. Now that you're here, we're going to bring you in a warm embrace, and Jeff is going to tell you how to start from zero.
Start from zero. First thing you're going to do, read the book. Make sure you read the book. You don't have to memorize it. Just read it so that when you get to the questions.
Hold on. One thing I'm going to add. I would just see, but Achievable has you read it and then do little quizzes after. So that's the only vendor where I'm a little against it, but you are reading. Okay.
Can you turn it? Can you just skip the?
You probably could, but they're short. They're like 5 questions at a time.
More less than like other
way vendors? Less than STC.
Okay.
So these are like on this one topic. So keep going, but yes, I want to interrupt you.
Read the book. You know, all the chapters, no skipping, go straight through. Then go to the practice exams. You want to take the practice exams. You want to do it with the answers off. And you want to take the exam straight through. And then you want to take as much time, if not more, reviewing those practice exams. That's where you're going to pick up all your confidence and all of your knowledge. So if you get the question right, you want to read the explanation to make sure you got it right for the right reason. The second part is when you're reading the explanation, you want to make sure that the thought process that you use is the same as the explanation, so that if they change the wording of that same topic in a different format on the question, you will still get that question right. And then 3, I always felt there's a little bit of a reinforcement in reading the explanation. If you guess right, if you guess wrong, if you get it wrong, all okay. You are still, no matter what, if you get the question right or question wrong, you are going to read the explanation. If you read the explanation and it makes sense, continue on of your review. If after that it does not make sense, you have a couple of options. You can go back to that particular chapter. You can do Control F. You can see where you got a little tangled up. Then you can also, which I highly recommend, incorporate the videos into reinforcing the materials. Another way of using the videos is if you're tired of reading and you want to look at a different type of media. It's a great way of doing that. Also, it's just a great way to review topics. But remember, you want to read the book and you want to take your time taking the practice exams. Like, don't take the practice exams with as much focus as if you're reading. It's very, very important so that you don't get the easy questions wrong, or misread it. Like, which one of these is or which one of these isn't. Make sure you establish that. And then make sure you take your time reviewing it. And you'll be very pleased with the results.
Good. I love that. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. And again, so Antonio, nice Irish name. If you want to see me on Instagram and TikTok, it's Serious 7 Whisper. I do a lot more shorter videos on there. Okay. I think that works. Not bad, peoples. Not bad. Okay. Everyone, thank you for being on. You're all going to nail this thing. So anyone who passes, feel free to come on Thursday. And when Melania passes, I won't say who she is. I screwed that up. But whenever it passes, I will not play Numa.
Yada yada
Yada hee, yada hoo, yada hee. Okay.
Terrible.
Anyway, bye. Adios. Good night, everyone. Get off my live. Get the fuck off. Go get some sleep.